Hi there, welcome to the Cult of Cinema. My name is Aaron. In an earlier video, I did the mystery shelf upstairs. We looked at a few things that were in there, so I thought it'd be interesting to kind of dive into another one of my shelves, doing kind of a little short video. And over here is my kind of my animation child at heart shelf, I like to call it. So for what we're going to do here is I'm basically going to just pick some things at random and give you my thoughts on some of these and give you a little bit more insight into some of the stuff that I do collect, that I do love, and some stuff that I grew up on and I never grew out of. So welcome to the Cult of Cinema, and welcome to the shelf of animation for the kid that never grew up. If there's one place where my better half definitely best me at when it came to animation, was that she grew up with anime, whereas, well, you'll see the one that really was prevalent with me when I was a kid. Actually, probably pretty much older. There was two animated shows that we got when it came to anime. We didn't get a lot. Now my better half got a ton of anime. She literally grew up on it. A French show called Club Dorothy, where they would show a ton of like animation blocks. But one of the ones that kind of stuck with me is right here, right now, and it's one that I picked up the entire collection of. And that is Ranma Half. So if you've never seen Ranma Half, this one is a ton of fun. And I guess I'm not sure what. So if you're animation, like an anime person, would you consider this like shoji or shonen? Shonen. I'm not quite sure, but it is a really cool series about a guy that falls into a magical pool, and because of this, every time that he's splashed with uh, with cold water, he turns into a girl. And when his grandfather is splashed, he turns into Panda. It's really really fun, and if you've never seen it, it's a great one. There are 7 volumes in all for the entire series. And when you open it up, each of them. This one here, by the way, has the first 23 episodes, I think. Yep, 23 episodes. It's a great show. If you never checked out Ranma Half, I definitely recommend that you do. 7 volumes, real easy to collect because, unlike some which seem to go on forever, 7 volumes and you're done. Speaking of that, with being a dad and having 2 kids, obviously this was a show that came on, and I ended up getting really addicted to this one as well back in the day. I'm not gonna lie. So Sailor Moon, it's got a great history behind it. You trust me, there's a lot of videos online that can talk to you about the history of Sailor Moon. So I am not gonna be a person that's gonna do that. There is a ton of content talking about the live action Sailor Moon, the different pilots to try to get Sailor Moon off the air. What's neat about this one is this was a collector's edition box set. So Sailor Moon S came into 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. So I only so far have part 1. But the box is set up so that there's a placeholder for when I get part 2, and I definitely need to get part 2. I was able to grab both parts to Sailor Moon R. This is a part. Did I get both parts to Sailor Moon R? Yep, season 2, part 1, and season 2, part 2, right here, as well as having Sailor Moon season 1, part 2, and Sailor Moon season 1, part 1. Now I just got to figure out what order they go in. One of the absolute prize pieces to my animation collection is right here, and the reason for that is because you can't buy this anymore, but I think you can watch it on Disney Plus. But you know me, I gotta have my physical animation. So here we go. Physical media wise, Spider-Man the 67 collection is pretty incredible. So it's often referred to as the Ralph Bakshi Spider-Man. Now Ralph Bakshi did season 2 of this series. It is actually a really faithful adaptation of the early Spider-Man comics. I do actually have them over there. the Stanley Ditko stuff and the Stanley John Romita stuff, the early stuff, at least the first two volumes of it on this format. So about like 10 or odd years or so. But this ran from 1967 to 1970, 2 seasons in total, and this is one that I really, really love. Paul Soule is a Canadian actor, and he did the voice of Spider-Man. Did the voice of a few different characters along the way. It came with a booklet too, so you got an episode guide. Let's see what we got here. So all in total, there are 52 episodes to the series. Gets to the later ones like Trip to Tomorrow and some of the Revolt in the Fifth Dimension. See, in the second season of the series, a lot of the budget ended up getting cut. They had to find ways to get around that. So Bakshi did another series called Rocket Robin Hood. It was basically Robin Hood in space. It was one of those that had like short 5-10 minute long episodes. You could put them on anywhere in between different shows. You could put on like a 30-minute block. So what they did was they took backgrounds from Rocket Robin Hood and used them in Spider-Man. Even though it was a science fiction series, they gave kind of like a science fiction Spider-Man episode. So when you got to episodes like that, those weren't like faithful to the comic adaptations, and some people were really bothered by that. Now there's another really good Spider-Man series that came out years later, and that's this one right here. This is the Spectacular Spider-Man, the complete series. I was unsure about this one when I first saw it because I was iffy on the animation. Now it's an 8-disc collector's edition. It includes everything in here, and it unfortunately only ran for 26 episodes, but 26 great episodes. I did love the Spectacular Spider-Man, the animated series. I'm really big on most Spider-Man series, to be honest with you, but this one really, really stands out. 67 is still my favorite. I know you're going to say, well, what about the 90s one? Well, I love the 90s one, but still, the 67 one is the one I grew up with. Speaking of stuff that I grew up with, this is Looney Tunes, the Platinum Collection, Volume 1. There are 3 volumes in the Platinum Collection, and there are 6 volumes, I think, of the Gold Collection. I have both the Gold, which is over here, and I have the Platinum, which is one of the first volume here is right in my hand right now. It is a 2-disc set. Why are there 3 discs? It's a 3-disc set, right? It is a 3-disc set. There you go. And the neat little thing about this original one here is that it had a kind of neat little book with it, and it's got some really great stuff in here. So What's Opera Doc, Duck Amuck, Robin Hood Daffy is really, really good. Tale of Two Kitties is a lot of fun. There is some really great stuff in here. And it's good that they did 3 volumes of this. Now, one where I wanted them to do more volumes, and unfortunately it never happened, is this one right here. This is Tom and Jerry's Golden Collection Volume 1. 37 remastered theatrical shorts, because, you know, back in the day, they did come out in the theater. Sadly, Tom and Jerry did not have, as far as I know, a Volume 2. This was it. If I wanted to get any other Tom and Jerry stuff on Blu-ray, I was out of luck. Now, they did have these here, Tom and Jerry Spotlight Collections, and this is the Volume 2 of the Spotlight Collection. There are 38 shorts on here. There was 3 volumes altogether, I think, in the Spotlight Collection. And luckily, Walmart put them out in this really cheap set, and I do mean really cheap set too, by the way. This has all 3 volumes, 40 for the first volume, I think 38 for 37 for the second, and 35 for the third. But when I show you, I mean, like, it's all kind of put here under one spindle. But nonetheless, I'm still glad that I got all the early Tom and Jerry cartoons. This runs for a few years, actually. I think from the 1940s to runs, yeah, most of the 1940s. He says, as he does not remember, but 112 episodes of on here on 4 discs. So really, like, think of it, 112 episodes on 4 discs. There's got to be some compression. Easily an early favorite of mine, and one that I bought recently. I've already watched the series, so I haven't had to break it open and watch again yet, but was Avatar: The Last Airbender. I picked this one up at Walmart for under $20. I was really stoked to get the complete series. This is all 3 books, Water, Earth, and Fire, and really enjoyed this. You know what else I enjoyed? Legend of Korra, the companion series to it. This is the complete series for this one here as well, and I I have not watched all of this one, so it'll be interesting to go. I think I want to go back, start watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then follow up with The Legend of Korra, because I really need to start from the beginning. Let me show you what was sent to me by a viewer as we talk about Spider-Man. So there was a Spider-Man series before Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and it was basically, it's just called Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man. But in the UK, Spider-Man 5000 for some reason. This has 3 volumes, so there's 4 volumes in total for the complete series. But this is the first 3, and it's got some great stuff on here. You got them fighting people like Doctor Doom and Dr. Octopus and more Doctor Doom. But a ton of really cool stuff. Listen to titles like this, right? Boyle, all in trouble. Doctor Doom, master of the world. Lizards everywhere. Curiosity killed the Spider-Man. The Sandman is coming. When Magneto speaks, people listen. And the Pied Piper of New York. You can see the animation on the back right there. You can see, yeah, that is the Black Cat. But 3 volumes in total. Very cool. 19 full episodes. And it comes in this kind of wraparound that I utterly adore. I'll just dive into a couple more before we finish out for this one here. But we'll go into this again. If you like animation and you want to see me dive into an animation collection like even deeper, let me know and we'll definitely do that. Oh, yes. The Jetsons, the Diamond Collection. I am a huge fan of the Jetsons. I'm a huge fan of the Flintstones too. My better half, not a fan of the Flintstones, but she loves the Jetsons. This one here actually includes the movie The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones as well. So this is the complete 75 episode series, along with the bonus film. So when you open it up here, you can see all the discs, and you get to the last one here, and it's like bonus movie Jetsons Meet the Flintstones right there. It's pretty standard, pretty basic. And as far as as an episode guide, really it's just like, just a flat piece of paper. Kind of like what they did in North America for the Doctor Who seasons that they put out, the collection of the early Doctor Who shows, before they just took it episode guides all together and kind of make you guess. But there you go. That's a start on some of my animation collection here. I don't want to go in too deep. Maybe next time we can look at the Fantastic Four, my Electric Company, where one of the other places I saw like the first live action Spider-Man, and for my Canadian fans out there, Mr. Dressup's Tickle Trunk Treasures. This takes me back to my childhood. Many people that became like animators or artists owe it to Ernie Coombs, the amazing Mr. Dressup. My name is Aaron. I hope you've enjoyed this kind of short video here, and if you want to see more in the animation section, we can dive back in here. But let me know what your favorite animated series is. Let me know if there's certain things you maybe see in the background you want me to look at another time, and I'll see you next time right here in the Cult of Cinema. So I totally grew up on this. I forgot to mention this during the video, but Woody Woodpecker and Friends was one of those shows that I watched religiously as a kid, and I would stay home to go out after it was over, and I got very upset sometimes when I missed out on it. There was 2 volumes of this put out, and it even has like this neat little thing, the original Halloween show, the Woody Woodpecker show TV episode, the Halloween special, some behind the scenes segments, and it's really cool. It's really well done because you get like Woody Woodpecker, you get like Chilly Willy and some like cartoon classics, Cartoon classics here. And if you've never checked these out, these are pretty amazing. And I do have both volumes. It took me like a long time to get the second volume though. This one, these are all like digitally remastered, completely uncut. But the neat thing about it was that I was at a Canadian Tire. Like I kid you not, and I had like a spinner rack in the back of Canadian Tire. I didn't even notice it there first, and that's where I found Volume 1. And I thought, okay, that's maybe they never ever made a Volume 2. Then I went online, found out yes, there was a Volume 2. I looked around forever to try and find out. I tried to get on Amazon. Prices were insane, or it was sold out. And then all of a sudden, I was at another Canadian Tire a few years after getting the first volume, and I came across this, and I couldn't believe it. My mind was blown. I had to look to make sure that it wasn't the volume that I had, because like what's the chance I'm going to get the second volume of this so that I'm going to find it at another Canadian Tire, in another spinner rack with a bunch of like old MGM DVDs. Trying to take this out, but it's so tight. That's one of the things. It's always been like really tight when to get out, but I do want to show you because it's actually kind of neat. If I never get it out, this is my longest after credit sequence ever. But hold on. There you go. 75 theatrical cartoons altogether. What's really neat about this one is this one has some Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. I kid you not. Remember Oswald, the one that Disney had kind of spent so hard trying to get the rights back to? But there's some really neat stuff in here, like Woody Woodpecker, Andy Panda, Chili Willy, Wally Walrus, Buzzard, Not Head and Splinter, Space Mouse. Just such great, really, really cool stuff on here. And they do actually mention that they have the pilot episode for that Waterlands did for two other shows called Space Weapon, starring Space Mouse, and Jungle Medic, starring Sam and Simeon. So that's actually kind of cool there as well, and including a full-length episode featuring Willie, Inspector Wallaby, and the Barry family, if you want to see what one of these shows looked like when people watched these as a kid. So there you go, an extended after-credit sequence. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.